everybody. Good evening, aliens.
Chapter 6, verse 12. Peter asked Paul, because Paul the Apostle wrote 2/3 of the New Testament, right?
Okay.
So, Peter asked Paul, do we have to follow these laws of Judaism? And he said, no, all things are lawful. Not all things are beneficial. He actually said helpful, but when you take the words out of Hebrew, blah, 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 right? So, all things are lawful, not all things are beneficial. So, in a capitalistic system, if you are doing what is beneficial, which would, because greed is a deadly sin, so you wouldn't be doing that. Which is why I hate that we've taken God out of everything, because it really does have some really good messages if we would listen to things.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, well, the Bible says that a woman should serve their husband. Okay, well, what's the next line, you fucking idiots? Right?
Isn't she not steal from thy neighbor?
No, so it's also in Corinthians, but it's in Matthew and Mark and Luke and John, but it says, wives, serve your husband.
Yep.
The next line, and it says it 4 different times, but my favorite one, and I cannot recite the exact verse because I have a relationship with God, I don't really need that.
Yeah.
It says, husbands, love your wife.
Yes.
As Jesus loved the church.
Yep.
Which, if we all did that,
mm-hmm.
What kind of fucking perfect world would we be living in?
Yeah, fully understandable. And
which is why I believe so hardly that we shouldn't have been taking this shit out of school.
Well,
read the Bible as a story, not as a religion. I am not a big organized religion type person, right?
So, I don't know if you watched the episode of Joe Rogan where Cat Williams is on there.
No, I have not.
You need to. You really, I 100%.
I will more than likely die laughing.
It's actually hilarious. It takes a little bit to get started because Cat Williams is like interrupting jokes. He's high as shit. He's just like, listen. No, that's...
Makes sense.
It's not crazy, Joe. That's just the way that things all are. But if you actually listen to the way he's like wording things, because he not only takes things from the Quran and from the Bible and from the Old Testament and the New Testament,
books.
And he takes, because Cat Williams will tell you that he's read so many fucking books in his life, and it shows during that entire 3-hour podcast.
The Tibetan Book of the Dead is wild.
Dude, he has, what is it? The Emerald Scroll.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's read that one, and then he goes, listen, this tells you exactly, like, whatever it is with your UFOs and everything like that. You see the world, you see everything out there in the universe. Everything out there in the universe is there to create what we have here.
Yeah.
And everything out there is the way it is supposed to be, because the way that we are all here is where we're supposed to be. And he starts getting really like spiritual and philosophical with it. And I actually really, I'm down on that because I enjoy paganism myself. But at the same time, those ideals and those, whether it be Bible verses or stances, and whether it be in the Posada Poetica, the Bible, or whatever, so have you, the Quran, they all still tell the same exact story. More or less, they do. Whether it is one deity, creator, there's a world, those things all stand true. Whether it is in ancient Egyptian culture, whether you want to kick it back to 2,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 7,000 years ago, all these different cultures all still say the same fucking story.
They do, to a sense.
Yeah.
But, and that just makes me, it's like, okay, there's one God.
There is creation.
There's creation. So to me, I look at it and I go, creation. Creation is one God. If we really read the story of the Bible, it is telling you a story. Like the time before the last time I read it, I was like, oh my God, this isn't a story. Like, this is a story to men. Like the last time that I read it, I was like, oh my God, treat your fucking family, treat your wife, treat everyone with respect. There's another line in Corinthians. It's chapter 19, whatever. Corinthians 14 or 19, it says, be strong.
Mm-hmm.
Stand firm in your faith, act like men, and let everything you do be done in love. Our job as men, a lot of men are like, well, I have to be angry. For what, you stupid fucker? There is, like, and I cuss like a sailor, but there's no reason to be angry all of the time. If you're angry, then you have let the devil into your heart. You have let an evil spirit, you have allowed the tree of knowledge to overcome your entire spirit, which was creation, right?
Yep.
Adam and Eve ate from the tree of knowledge. Tree of knowledge, that is lies.
Enjoy it.
And so, and then this comes from Hindu reading. Hindus say the same thing with creation.
Mm-hmm.
You want to really learn something? Empty the cup. Get rid of what you have learned. Get rid of the tree of knowledge. You think knowledge is good. Well, get rid of it. And then start to think.
See, and that's interesting because, like, in the stanzas, they explain after every lesson that Odin has gone through, it is always followed with a contradicting statement of, have you learned enough yet, All-Father?
Right.
Where he's learning whether it was like, so in the well, so there's a well on the bottom of Yggdrasil that is the well of knowledge or the well of the unknown. And Odin hides one of his eyes inside of the well to see the unknown, to see hell, to see the what's beyond. And when he does those things, it is like he will understand from, I think it's like I'm going to butcher this, but it's like a witch, basically, that he summons from the well.
Like a goddess almost.
Yeah, basically a goddess, a deity. Yeah. He summons from the well and starts to learn this knowledge, but he hides his eye there, so his eye is always all-seeing. And then when she tells him things about Ragnarok, or the death of the gods and goddesses, the stanzas always ends with, have you learned enough now, All-Father?
Okay.
And it kind of gives you that aspect of, well, Odin does want to learn everything. He does want to see what is beyond. Although technically he cannot see everything that is there, because once he gets to a certain point, he sees his own death, and his death is there.
Okay.
But has he learned enough yet? And that's Odin's entire like aspect of being, is just learning all. That's why he's the All-Father. And it does show a lot of that in the stances, and it does show a lot of that with different religions, pagan wise, whether it be Celtic or Norse pagan or
there's so many of them.
There's so many of them.
Just like there's Orthodox Christians, there's Orthodox Jews.
Yeah, you have Orthodox Jews, unorthodox Jews, you have Orthodox Christians, you have freaking Catholics.
Orthodox Christians, though, they're welcoming. It's quite wild. Mormons, though. The Book of Mormon.
Let's go to Utah.
There it is.
Whoa.
That was weird. So,
we started talking about gods and deities,
but the
and all of a sudden there's a wave there.
But the Book of Mormon it's weird because the Bible like totally goes against it, right? They worship angels. Mm-hmm. Just like the Catholics pray to Mother Mary, which is very odd to me also. Maybe it's because of what I've been taught, but all of my readings bring me back to it's just a story.
Mm-hmm.
This is all a story. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of organized religion. No, I would never tell my children that, because in my view, the best way to do what is most beneficial, to find peace inside of your soul, to love and live and do what is best for most creation,
Sit in the pink chair. All right.
Is through the words of Jesus Christ. Because his words are beautiful. They're beautiful words. What he says, like when he talks about you being the wedding or you being the bride to God, it's gorgeous. You are the person that is marrying God. And then when you marry someone else, you become one. And that is the words of God. And it's fucking beautiful. Now, will everyone see it? No. But like a lot of talkings, especially, I've been studying Corinthians, 1st and 2nd Corinthians for like the last 6 months. Jesus' words are, in my opinion, it is about, he is telling you, when he says, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light. Did he say one time to worship him? No. He said, follow me. You do what I do. You can escape from dualistic thinking. I am trying to give you the path. The path is to surrender duality. What is right and wrong? We don't know. Escape from the tree of knowledge.
All that you know and all that is the way that it's supposed to be.
So it's like, well, what are we doing today?
Are there aliens?
We're all, no, I'm not going there. We're all wrong. Especially here. We're all wrong. Not giving people their true freedom.
When you say especially here, what do you mean?
In America. We're wrong.
To what extent?
Well, let's look at Florida, right? They made it illegal for a man to wear a dress.
Okay.
We might think that's right. Okay? I don't think a man should be wearing a dress. I think a man should be strong. But to make it illegal, why does America say that we are the land of the free, but we have the most laws?
Okay. I'm going to have to look into that law a little bit further for that to actually... Like, I'm taking it at face value.
Yeah.
I mean...
You know? So it's like, it's tough for me to... We live in a country, we say we're the land of the free and the home of the brave. We have the most laws and the most people incarcerated. How the fuck is that freedom? Because true freedom is anarchy.
I'm going to say that we have the most people incarcerated right now. I don't know. Venezuela, they're doing a fine job with their newest president right now that is more Trump than Trump ever was. He just walked in that place and he started saying, Afuera! Which is like, you're done.
Which is communism.
They were already communists.
I know that. My brother,
they're trying to profit.
My brother-in-law's from there.
Aurora?
Fucking kids, right?
Oh, they're awesome.
They are awesome.
They are awesome.
I wouldn't trade it for the fucking world.
No, not at all.
but really, it's like, dude, today, what are we doing? Like, let's make people free. How do we actually have freedom? Power of the mind. It starts with the mind, and then it is the body, and then you have the spirit.
Okay. Yeah, there's the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, right?
Yeah. But part of that, like, it says it so perfectly. It is not my job to judge you. It's not my job to judge you.
No.
It's God's job to judge you.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I? I can have my opinion.
To add on to that, just to keep baking onto that same subject, as far as like the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda goes, whether it's the Prose Edda, which was more heavily Christian based, and then the Poetic Edda, which is more North based, those gods don't judge you.
Yeah,
they tell you the stories of how they found what right and wrong was, and how they found different problems here and there. But it's up to your description, up to your interpretation of that, to take it and do what you want with it.
Right.
You know, and the same thing like as I assume the Bible, where I've read very little of it, but I have read portions of it.
Sure.
And I've had a lot of it from
For me preaching it into your ear for 16 years.
that and then fucking Crowder, because they're very heavily conservative and they're very heavily Christian based. So they do their Ash Wednesdays and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which I do listen to that because honestly I am interested.
I mean,
Knowledge.
I'm a fasting king. I fast like a motherfucker.
I like knowledge.
Sure.
Knowledge is, there's no replacement for knowledge. If you understand and you can know what you know, you can't know everything, no matter what.
But some of that knowledge is lies.
There is. And you gotta know whether or not to sift through that and interpret what you want to interpret as the way it is, whether it's beneficial or negative. There are things that are beneficial, there's things that are negative in the world.
Well, so like I was saying, like when Jesus said, I am the way, I'm the truth, I'm the light. And then right after that, he looks at everyone because he was giving a speech, right?
Right.
And he goes, follow me. You will find truth, and the truth will set you free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's right there. The truth will set you free.
You find what is true.
Find what is true. You have to dig very, very, very deep
Right.
to find what is true.
Right. You have to interpret the truth.
Right. You have to figure out a lot of it the way I see it.
Yeah, like don't touch little kids.
Yeah, don't touch little kids, please. We'll fucking kill you.
I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
You'll have this scar. But you'll be in the grave.
I don't know why I got these scars. It doesn't matter because you're fucking dead.
But the truth setting you free, finding what the truth is, like that one. Do not touch little kids.
Right. Seems very simple.
Very, very simple. Right. Now, these dads, I'm going to go on this one. You have daughters. If an 18-year-old, if actually, your daughter is a senior in high school,
mm-hmm.
and she is 17, there's another senior in high school that's 19, and they're dating, and they go to prom, and they have sex, that's not fucking rape. That is children love.
No, I would have to agree with you there.
So these dads that are doing that, if you didn't want your daughter to spread your legs, maybe you should have talked to her about fucking sex.
You don't want to do it with a non-adult, which I don't feel as though that like a couple years age gap is a big deal. I don't.
Mm-mm.
Like
now, 24 and 17, I have a fucking problem.
Have a little bit of an issue because generally
30 and 19, even though it's legal, I have a fucking problem with.
I have an issue.
Listen, if you're 30 and 19, the only reason that you're not banging her when she was 17 is because the law says so and you're a fucking pedophile anyways.
Yep. I don't disagree.
But the law says it's okay.
I don't disagree, even though I had one on the other script of it where I was 19 and she was 29. But, whereas guys, it's so weird.
But that's still pedophilia.
I don't disagree, but
and you were a naive 19-year-old,
right?
Legal. That just wanted to get your dick wet,
right?
And I think that is very dumb. I'm not saying I have not done it. I am not saying that I have not been there, right? But our job as parents today, because we're all fucked up, if you will, right? Our job is to make sure that our children do not become fucked up in the same way we're fucked up.
Yeah.
And the only way that we can do that is to figure out who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the other spectrum, if you do not...
Sorry, spectrums. I got it.
If you do not do that, if you're fucking up your kids in totally different ways that you are not fucked up in, guess what? You still did the best you could.
Okay.
And there's therapy for that, so send them to the fucking therapy.
I agree to an extent about therapy, though.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I feel as though there's some points in time about therapy where it's like, I can understand where somebody has like some PTSD moments, like say, take Oxford, for example.
Don't be so sensitive.
Yeah, take Oxford, for example, where he had like a mass shooting. Yes, Your kid might need a little bit of therapy after watching their fucking classmate get blasted in the head. I can understand that. That same therapy should also go 180, or not 180. That same therapy should also go towards, I don't know, our soldiers that we bring back after times of war.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like, I really love the Unsubscribe podcast. Those are a bunch of the gun tubers that, I was about to do it again. Don't do it. Anyway, this is a bunch of the gun tubers and a bunch of like ex-militaries. So Eli Double Tap, he was in the military after 2001.
Okay.
And he talks about like he did 4 tours. He's like, yeah, there's times there that like there's an IED going off and we're getting rounds back in. And he goes, I was fucking radioing back into command going, yeah, shots fired, and IED blew up, and we're all pretty good. We're just gonna keep pushing through. And it's fucking CO was just like, you had zero emotion when you did that. He goes, I just want listen for a second. I just want to fucking go to bed.
Don't you think though, as a man, do you think that as a man in our jobs as men, as protectors, real men, not these grown boys that are living in today's society.
Chopping their dicks off.
Yeah.
That's the best way to start a conversation with a Democrat.
Good Lord.
I'm full Democratic Party. So you endorse chopping men? You endorse chopping little boys' penises off?
But during war, right, shouldn't you almost be emotionless?
Well, it should just be a task. It should be a job.
You have a job to do.
You do.
You have a job to do.
Regardless if it's delivering pizzas.
It sucks, right? And when you come back, oh my God, please have some empathy. Show some grace.
Mm-hmm.
We are here. You're not in war anymore. And I get it. I get that shit sucks.
Yeah.
But that's your job. Like, who fucking knows? We might have a civil war here. They tried to take Trump off the ballot in 4 states.
Yep.
History repeats itself, right? So,
it does.
If that is our job, and I'm glad that guy talks like that, and I guarantee he's not emotionless anymore.
Oh no.
And
yeah, every good chance to check those guys out. They're awesome.
That is growth. Would he go back to war? Yes.
Yeah,
Would he be emotionless again? More than likely.
Yeah.
It's our job.
Yeah, it's like let's just listen to Speak the Truth when they talk. Speak the Truth podcast when they talk about what's going on with the Houthis and Israel and Ukraine, things like that. And they're talking about the Israelis they killed these children, and it's like, I hate to fucking tell you this, guys.
War.
But guess what terrorists do?
Yeah, it's war.
It's war. And yes, your forward command as a terrorist cell is generally a kid with a cell phone. And there has been so many accounts in Afghanistan and Iraq and during the first and second Gulf War,
right?
That where if I didn't, or not me,
look at the Russia and Ukraine war.
If you didn't shoot that kid there, that's not supposed to be there. They had plenty of time to get out. They were warned to get out.
17-year soldiers are dead. A whole fucking unit.
Your whole fucking unit's dead.
And
Just because you didn't want to pull the trigger because it was a kid.
Right. Like
that kid has no idea, and they're influenced heavily about what regime they're a part of or what government they're a part of.
That's the tree of knowledge bullshit I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that kid
shows lies.
That kid was fed lies that he thought was truth, and that's knowledge.
Yep. And if you flip that,
but that goes all the way back to the story of creation.
And if you flip that to now, how we are here in the United States, you're telling these kids that men are women and women are men,
which is
it's not true.
I don't fucking tell my kids that. You should hear.
Yeah. If I ask my daughter right now,
she's a girl.
She's like, I'm a girl. Mommy's a girl. Jakara's our cat's a girl. Odin's a boy. Daddy's a boy.
My oldest, I won't say his name, but my oldest, we were out in the pasture the other day. And we were doing some chores. It was actually in the summer. We were moving the cows around. And he looked at me and he goes, Dad, I don't understand. He goes, I thought we were the land of the free and the home of the brave. And I said, yeah, we're supposed to be. He goes, it seems like we're more the land of the trans and the home of the furries. And I went,
God damn it, Tyler.
I went, fuck, that's hilarious.
That's great. No, the home of the trans and the land of the gays, that would have been better.
Well, it's like, you know, and I was my barber, him and I get my hair cut often.
Yeah.
You go talk to this dude, he's fucking hilarious, right? And we're talking, he goes,
should be a good relationship there, regardless, in
yeah,
my opinion.
But yeah, I mean, dude, he puts a fucking razor right by my neck, you know?
Right.
So, and he's like, I have 3 boys too. He does, my barber does. And he's like, you know, he's like, today, he goes, I just hope my kids end up gay. He goes, because I just can't fucking do this. He goes, I don't want to bring home a girl and then be like, well, actually, I was born a boy. He goes, so I would rather them just be fucking gay.
Oh, God, isn't that a fucking weird aspect of it? Dear Lord.
I mean, him and I are both very anti-government. Like, we believe very much that we get our freedom from God, not the government.
Well, yeah, you get your freedom from you.
Yeah. And a lot, like I said, a lot of it is finding out who you are.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it's weird.
I do want to say one more story of creation. It was the most, I just read this one.
Go for it.
It was,
I don't mind.
and I won't even say what Bible it's from, but it was the story of Brahma and Maya. So Brahma was out in the universe, right?
Okay.
Brahma's God. It's another word for God.
Mm-hmm.
And,
This is my computer.
okay. So Brahma's out there and he's like, well, I'm bored and I want to play a game. So he created a goddess. He named her Maya. And Maya was like, well, let's create the heavens. Created the heavens. And then he created the earth. And then she was like, well, let's put some animals on this thing. Let's put some life. Trees, water.
Yep.
Water, trees, some animals. And then he goes, well, can we start to play the game? And she goes, I think that you should create a species so intelligent so they can understand this illusion that you have created. Remember that word. And he goes, okay, so he created the human. And at the end of it, he goes, so when do we play the game? And she goes, the game begins right now. And she killed him and chopped him up into 1,000,000 pieces and put him inside every human. Right. And she goes, the game begins now. Find out who you are.
Right. God damn it! This. No. I know which one you're talking about, but I just can't remember which one it is because fucking Cat Williams did exactly say this exact thing. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's like, huh? Cat Williams is sitting there going, "See, Joe, you just gotta find out who you are.
Yeah, figure out who you are.
Gotta figure out who you are."
But like in today's society, with all the anxiety, right?
Yeah, exactly. Anxiety,
with
you can call
alcohol,
that.
with drugs, with shitty food.
Whether it's alcohol, depression, anxiety.
Yeah, like how do you mask that? I say through fasting and meditation to figure out who you are.
I think you should subscribe to Russell Brand.
Possibly, yeah.
He does daily meditations all the time.
Yeah, it's like the first thing I fucking do when I get up.
Yeah.
He's never meditate in your bed. That's the first fucking rule of meditation. The second rule of meditation is do it in the early morning.
Okay.
I mean, I prefer naked and outside, but that's just me.
Naked in an ice tank.
100%.
3 minutes of that shit is the best.
It is, but I would not meditate while in there. I would meditate after
You have
that.
zero thoughts inside of that. I'll tell you that much right now. When you do an ice plunge, you have zero thoughts in your brain.
I built one inside my crick.
Yeah, I have an ice plunge that's in my garage.
I dug a big hole inside one of my river things that flows through my property.
I really want to get back to this ice plunge, but dude, I have to pee.